The follow-up question I was discussing is more specifically to do with the metaverse, because I'm curious, because after we have these questions, I can tell you about a couple maybe brief things that I'm working on that are very specifically in this niche. But I'm curious if you have, if you personally use an Oculus headset, or if you're only mainly currently interested in like XR experiences, or if you're embracing both at this point.
So I was a very early adopter of VR. I owned the Oculus One. The only reason why I ditched the Oculus was because of the and you might guess this, given that I'm from crypto, given that I'm from a decentralized generation, I wasn't thrilled about the change of the login, right? That you had to have a Facebook account, because I deleted all my socials ages ago, my friend, right? I do prefer to be anonymous and low key. So, I was a little bit upset about that. So I actually gave away my Oculus to the Salvation Army a couple of months ago.
I love that. That's amazing. That's such a great quote.
And it's a shame, right? Because I really enjoyed it. I was playing poker on VR. I was in the metaverse on VR. I was playing all these games on VR. And it was a really awesome experience for me. I have been lately thinking about getting the Oculus 2, and I know I'm a little bit late again to the party for the upgrade. But again, it's very difficult for me to wrap my mind around why I should let big corporations have my data and benefit from my data when the only benefit that I get is the ability to use a proprietary system that I'm paying for, right? So it's very difficult for me from an ethical standpoint to understand why I should buy into that. Now, given that, again, I'm always on the lookout for the latest and greatest headsets. I'm very much a technophile, so I love trying out new things all the time. But at some point in time, I really do want to delve in with a VR headset. I mean, I used to go into crypto voxels with a VR headset quite a bit as well. And again, my three favorite platforms, easily crypto voxels for digital art, Sandbox for games, and DCL for the social element, right? And I think those three platforms are going to do stunningly well over time.
Absolutely. And I think those are very, very good points. And, I experienced DCL, I think, a year and a half ago for the first time with a VR headset, because, as you know, they came from VR into this XR experience. And I think you're touching on a really important point, that, this decentralized community isn't really open to these huge centralized companies, and that's kind of our core ethos. So why would we kind of sway to that just to view artwork when there is an alternative such as XR at this point in time, kind of until that happens? So that's excellent.
Bro, I cannot wait till we get to the time, and I know that a lot of people are trying to tackle it. I know that Big Cloud tried to tackle it with social media, and again, they're very well funded, and I'm actually heavily invested in Big Cloud as a platform, right, to disrupt social media on the longer term. But I can't wait to the point where, you and I really own our data, and, these guys aren't selling that data or using that data to affect, again, what we want to see, how we want to see it, and monetizing that data to the point where they're the only ones that are benefiting from this. I think that if you and I are willing to share data, you and I should be the main beneficiaries of that.
Absolutely.